all-new Blitz on Channel 4, powered by DCMM, as we start today's show here at Dawson County with a very familiar face, Jed Lacey, head soccer coach. Coach Lacey, every year I always appreciate having you on the show and definitely look forward to this interview every time.
Nice to be here, Brian. Thanks for having me.
Now, Coach, it seems like always the case. Your team's off to a solid start. The boys are 8-1 on the season, 1-0 in region play, ranked number 3 in the state. The girls 7-0 with a pair of ties, so they haven't been beat yet, still undefeated. Also 1-0 in region play and ranked 5th. So you got both your teams in the top 5, and I think at this point it's safe to say that this has become, Dawson County has become a legitimate powerhouse program. Would you agree with that?
I do agree with that. I mean, every year we break everything to state. I mean, that's our plan. That's what we expect. The expectations are very high here. Anything but state's a bad season. So we're going to kick the door in. I mean, eventually, our goal is to win state, and we're getting close. We're getting real close. The girls' team's got a lot of talent on it. We're young. We only got 2 seniors, 5 freshmen on varsity. Then we got 2 juniors starting. The rest are all sophomores. So it's a young team. Yeah. Boys' side, we're more senior-laden. It's half and half. We got I think we have 9 seniors. 5 of them start, and then 6 of them are underclassmen. So, but that's our expectations. We plan on for years to come to be up here. We know, anything less than going to state's it's a disappointment. So.
Yeah, and it seems like right around the halfway point each year. I don't know, how many years have you been doing the Jekyll Island gig? It's been a few years now.
We started 7 years ago. We broke off a couple years and went and took a trip to Florida in Thomasville and went to Savannah. But we love going back to Jekyll. So it's either the past 7 years, we've gone 5 years.
Yeah, and it would be an understatement to say that you had a lot of success there. I mean, you guys went 6-0 between the boys and girls this time around, just getting back from there. The boys, I believe, outscored opponents 14-4, girls 13-0. What do you walk away from, other than the obvious, the 6 wins? That's got to be nice. But what is it you look for out of your team when you go to Jekyll?
When we go to Jekyll, you go down and play the best talent in the state. There's teams you won't see at any other time. So it's hard to get scheduling those type of games. So we know when we go down there that we're going to play the best teams around. And they totally different style of play. We see South Georgia teams. And, private schools, you see everything down there. We walk away, we want to know who we are, because when we usually come back from that, we start our region play. Yeah. And which is coming up now. We got some big games against White County coming up this week, and Buford follows that. But when we walk back in here, we know exactly who we are. I think the girls came together. I think even though we were undefeated, I was not happy how the girls were playing, and I'm doing that. They haven't lost the game, so it's a good complaint.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but we're walking in. I think the girls have found themselves now. We moved a couple of girls around. On the boys' side, they're a machine right now. I mean, the best thing that happened to us this year is playing Gainesville. Gainesville exposed us, so coming back from after the Gainesville game, we kind of found ourselves after that. And but coming from Jekyll, it's the boys. We just want to maintain where we were. Play some top team. Played Kell down there. Yeah. And the game against Creepy was just unreal. That was a war. I mean, there was bodies all over the field, so it was a war. But out of the 4 goals we gave up, 3 were PKs. So it was. Yeah. I thought both teams coming out, I was very proud of both of them, and I'm ready to get in the region right now.
And let's focus on the girls for just a moment. Counting the scrimmage at the beginning of the season against Johnson, it's been in 10 matches. You have 8 shutouts. I think it's easier to nail Jello to a wall than score on your girls' defense. And it seems like every year the girls' defense has been pretty stingy, but this year it's one of the toughest defenses I've seen. And 3 of the 4 goals you've allowed on the season, just 4 goals. 3 of those came in one game against Cartersville. It's an amazing defense you got.
Well, we put a lot of pride in our defense. I mean, when we first got here, I know if we can't score, I know we can play defense. So, if we can win 1-0, 2-0, that's fine with us. We're waiting. We're young up top. We got 2 freshmen that are starting. We're young up front and got 2 starters, 2 ninth grade starters. So we got to wait for them to build a little bit. But we put the same girls. We have 3 of the 4 returning starters back from last year on defense. The situation. One of our players. Anna, who died and passed away on us. And then we stepped up with another 9th grader, Devin Coach, has come in, and I mean, she's unreal. So we're actually better this year than we were last year. So it's and we got Nella Melton in goal, who's an ECNL player, and she's one of the best goalkeepers in the state. So our defense is really, really good. Plus our philosophy, what we do, we get everybody back. So we're going to stop you from scoring if we have to. We don't want to win every game, 5-4. Our goals win at 1-0. So that's why we do it.
All right, now, so let's shift a little bit and look at the boys. As you mentioned just a moment ago about the loss to Gainesville, and I believe right now they're ranked 6th in the state. So there is such thing as a good loss. And I would think that early in the season that would have been a good thing for your guys to experience, because since then they have not lost. Talk about a little more about that and kind of how the team responded to that.
Well, we came into the Gainesville game knowing that was our third game of the year. Our first two games got snowed out, so we kind of took on, Gainesville without any kind of warm-up except for the practice game. And so we didn't even know who we were yet. And then after we played Gainesville, they beat us 4-0. They showed everything we had to fix. We had to move some people around and expose everything we couldn't do. So from that moment on, that was a great game. Like you said, that was probably the best loss I've ever had. So, Gainesville showed what we need to do, and we fixed it since then, and we've been on a roll. So I think Gainesville helping us on that. So.
Yeah, and so, again, you've rolled through the season at this point, fresh off getting back from Jekyll. The weather's not quite cooperating, but doesn't really matter. 5 of your last 7 games are going to be on the road now, and as you mentioned, this is the home stretch with all the region games, 6 region matchups the rest of the way. Do you have to tell your team anything at this point, or what do you kind of tell them going into this home stretch where everything matters?
Well, we don't really elaborate on it. They know every game. We take one game at a time. We have a stairway to get to state, and it's one step at a time. We don't look past every game. We talk about it as a one-game season. All we know right now is we got White County on Friday night. That's all we care about. When that game's over, we're taking the next game on. So we don't really care where the games are played, home or away. All we know is we have to take one step. Every game, that kids already know it's region play. So we've done all. We built our personality. We know that who the team is, how we're going to play, and they know what the situation is trying to get to state, and they just look at who's the next game. So we really have to say anything. They know what's expected of them, and it's going to be done. So
that's perfectly in line with where I'm going next. Is just the expectations here are high, and you guys have raised the bar pretty high here. The boys team 7 years in a row now making it to state. Girls 5 of the last 6 years, including an Elite 8 run a couple years ago.
Yes,
Talk about the pressure that exists from that program, and how you feel like how do you kind of get the players kind of committed to this program and understanding, not buckling under that pressure, I guess.
It's almost like they're used to it. They come in, and I credit the older players. The older players, they all had to go through it when they first come here. That's all we talk about is going to state, got to win state. I mean, that's, each team gets more pressure on them because we get higher and higher and higher. And I think this year, if we got a legit shot on both sides of the ball. So, but it's the older players. It's not me. It's the players that pass it on to the other kids. When they come in, they tell them what's expected as a Tiger soccer player. Here's how we play. This is what's expected of you, and this is what we got to get done. So when they get on the field, it's really out of my hands. They turn it over to the kids. So I give the leadership of the older kids is tremendous here. So that's really what it is.
Well, Coach Lacey, thank you so much again for your time. I always appreciate it. Looking forward to you getting back in the state playoffs and making a deep run at it this year, just like you have in the years past.
Thank you, sir.
All right, when we come back, we're going to have a pair of the Dawson County soccer players here on Blitz.
The story of my life, I take her home.